Good evening and welcome to the Town Players of New Canaan. In 2015, we were lucky enough to be the theater to perform the first stage reading of a new play by local playwright Chris Ward called The Independents. 2 years later, the first fully staged production occurred at Curtain Call in Stamford, and I fell in love. But obviously I'm not the only one, because last fall, the show had a 4-month fully extended run off-Broadway. We were so hoping to bring this production back to you from our stage. The stage was set and ready to go. Unfortunately, COVID spiked and the actors are unable to perform. But thanks to the kindness of Laura Sohn and Curtain Call, we will be streaming the original fully staged production from 2017, the show I fell in love with. The show was performed on a thrust stage, so some of the shots are less than perfect, but imagine that you're sitting in the audience. You will see the play as it was performed, and I'm sure you will fall in love as much as I did. The set is fantastic, the actors are wonderful, and the play itself is magnificent. We will be back as soon as possible with new productions from Town Players. And when we do return, we hope to return with a brand new lobby. We've already begun the capital campaign for an extension of our building, and we thank you for all the donations to date. We hope you will tell your friends, your neighbors, your companies, your corporations to consider donating to our all-volunteer nonprofit theater. We thank you, and now please sit back, relax, go back to the year 1877 and enjoy The Independents.
Dear Mother, I have very exciting news to share with you and Father. Edgar Degas, a great artist, indeed a man who many feel is the greatest artist alive today, is coming to my studio here in Paris. Mr. Degas has developed his own style. They call him an impressionist. And I have it on good authority that he is the leader of a group of French artists who have broken with convention to form this I noticed Degas' pastels in the window of a picture dealer on the Boulevard Haussmann. I could hardly believe what my eyes were seeing. The gown was closed, so I flattened my nose against the glass to absorb all that I could of his art. Ballerinas, performing their discipline, captured in the moment with both passion and authority. And there was something else. I can't quite put my finger on it, and je ne sais quoi. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, Mr. Degas must be a gentle and caring man. No, I have butterflies in my stomach. I was nervous as a schoolgirl. Today is the day I believe will forever change my life. Monsieur Degas, c'est un honneur de vous rencontrer, de vous souhaiter la bienvenue à mon studio. Je suis Mary Cassatt. J'espère que vous avez pu trouver mon studio sans trop de difficultés.
Mademoiselle Cassatt,
Oui,
where did you learn to speak the French language?
I have visited Paris with my family many times over the years, ever since I was a child. My formal education is from the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts in Philadelphia. Is it not good? I've been told by my friends that my French is very good.
They were being kind.
Where did you learn to speak English?
Self-taught. It is a necessity of commerce. Is it not good?
It is word perfect.
Of course.
I had the opportunity of seeing Edouard Manet's most recent painting, a portrait of Stéphane Mallarmé. I thought it to be quite fine.
Stupid and fine. I thought it was very bourgeois, Edouard. It is sad to see an artist of his stature regress in public.
Oh, how can you say that about your friend?
Edouard is a colleague, nothing more.
Nothing more. I understood him to be your closest friend, and that you feel the way we all do about Manet. But he is the spiritual father of the Impressionists movement.
What about Courbet or Delacroix? Why is Manet the spiritual father? And I hate that word.
Spiritual.
No, impressionist. I don't paint impressions. I paint what is real, what I observe.
There is a spontaneity in your work.
I assure you, no work was ever less spontaneous than mine. What I do is a reflection of the great masters. I know nothing of inspiration, temperament, or spontaneity.
Surely you feel that the Impressionists...
Stop using that word! I forbid you to use it in my presence. I am an independent, Mademoiselle Cassatt. The established artists who exhibit with me are all independent.
I like that word.
Why am I here? Are you in need of a teacher?
Certainly not. I am an accomplished artist in my own right. I have twice exhibited at the salon.
Does that make you an artist?
It is how I make my living.
Is it really? Who pays for this studio?
I do. All my living expenses are paid for by the proceeds from the sale of my paintings. I have representation, and not just in Paris.
What was the last item that they sold?
Last item.
Tell me something of yours that they sold recently.
My soul.
What did you say?
My soul. I sold it on Wednesday.
Well, now that you've had a modicum of success in France, I expect you will be returning to your home in Philadelphia.
I will not.
Why not? Surely you have realized your ambition? You could be the toast of the town, the pride of Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts.
Paris is my home. Mr. Degas, I would like you to give me your considered opinion of some of my paintings. I have taken the liberty of setting them out for you. I hope you do not think it too forward of me. These are works in progress, of course. In fact, this first one is an underpainting. I should inform you that I have developed my own particular kind of paint, one that has a very fine texture due to a mixture that contains pastels. I think you'll find it more agreeable to the brush and more resilient to the elements. It is set as part of an ongoing series of mother and child portraits.
I have no more time to spare today. Au revoir, Mademoiselle Cassatt.
Mr. Degas, have you nothing to say about my work?
A woman should not be allowed to draw like that.
Dear Mother, Edgar Degas is a rude, arrogant, egotistical misogynist. Who is it? Mr. Degas, I was not expecting you.
I need to speak with you about a rather important matter. Did you sleep here?
I worked late into the night. Mr. Degas, you must come back at a more appropriate time.
I am here now.
I was not expecting you.
Oh, that is all right. Degas does not stand on ceremony.
I am not properly adorned.
Mademoiselle Cassatt, I spend my days with nude models and Parisian prostitutes. You not being properly adorned will not bother me in the least, I assure you.
Very well. Why are you here? Honestly, I didn't expect to see you again, not after the way you insulted me.
Insulted you, moi? I said nothing to insult.
You said a woman shouldn't be allowed to draw as I do.
A compliment.
That my French isn't good.
Why should it be?
That I should go back to where I came from.
Who wouldn't want to live in Pennsylvania?
Don't be obtuse.
I do not know this word, obtuse.
It means deliberately annoying.
I am obtuse. Now who's being insulted?
Oh no, that was a compliment.
Mademoiselle Cassatt.
Mary, you have seen me as few men ever have. I think you can use my first name.
Then you may address me as...
Edgar. I shall call you Edgar.
Do you think we may sit down? Perhaps a cup of tea?
It is awfully early.
Perhaps a biscuit as well?
Mr. Degas. Edgar. This is my art studio, not a cafe. I have no facilities here.
Surely you have tea.
I have tea.
Although you have exhibited with the Salon in the past, it is my understanding that they have rejected your most recent work. Is that correct?
Yes. All my submissions last month were rejected by the Salon judges.
They are imbeciles. They know nothing about art. One of the judges is a pharmacist.
Pharmacist?
They know nothing about art. They know nothing about aesthetics. You should wear their rejection as if it were a badge of honor.
I need to exhibit my work.
I am planning the next exhibit of the Independents.
Yes, I know. Have you decided which artists will be part of the exhibition?
Well, it is not set yet, but I believe it will be Claude Monet, Auguste Renoir, Paul Cézanne, Camille Pissarro, Edgar Degas, and Mary Cassatt. My tea!
I'm sorry. I thought I heard you. Did you say my name?
I did! Is there more tea?
I will make you another cup.
I am asking you to join the Independent for our next exhibit.
Is this some sort of trick?
Certainly not.
I thought you hated my work.
Where should you get such an idea? I should tell you that you will not be welcome at the salon if you exhibit with us. Perhaps you need a day or two to decide. More people will see your work at the salon. In the past, we have attracted hundreds of patrons while they have drawn in thousands. It is a calculated risk that each artist must weigh before making his decision.
Her decision.
What?
Making her decision.
Yes, her decision.
Have you discussed it with the other artists, my joining the exhibit?
No, why should I? Who cares what that gang thinks? I set the agenda.
Suppose they won't go along. They might reject me because I am a woman.
Then I will pull out. There is no show without me.
I see.
Now, tell me your ideas.
My ideas.
What are you going to paint for the exhibit?
The mother and child paintings I showed you last night.
No, no, and no. We want to see something completely different from you, something new and exciting.
I cannot. I wish that I could.
Of course you can.
Do not presume to tell me what to paint. I have learned the hard way what I can and cannot mark it. It has been a tremendous struggle for me to succeed as an artist.
We all struggle.
It is not the same for a woman, and you know it. Do you have any idea how many times I was discouraged by my teachers? Or how many teachers refused to accept me as a pupil? My own father said that he would rather see me dead than become an artist. Have you ever been physically removed from an exhibit?
Yes.
Well, I have. Wait. Did you say you had been physically removed from an exhibit?
Thrown out is the expression, I believe. Yes, many times.
How many?
6. No, 7.
Why?
Well, the first time was because I commented on one of the paintings, a landscape. The artist didn't appreciate the critique.
What did you say?
I said it looked like pig vomit.
How could you?
If an artist isn't interested in the truth, he should quit and sell shoes.
I was thrown out of an exhibit because they didn't allow women in the gallery, only men.
Well, it is the proprietor's right.
Several of my paintings are part of that exhibit. But that is beside the point. There are doors all over Paris that are closed to me because of my sex. And on the few occasions I am allowed inside, I am totally ignored while the men all congregate in the corner. You must know that it is my heart's desire to create art. To produce a work as stunning as Caillebott's The Floor Scrapers, or as provocative as Manet's The Luncheon on the Grass, or as exuberant as Renoir's The Boating Party. Instead, I do family portraits. Sometimes I daydream about painting behind the scenes at the opera or at the ballet like Degas. But then I remember, those doors are closed to me.
This door is open, Mary Cassatt, if you have the courage to walk through it. And I don't care what you think.
As long as it is new and different.
Will you join us?
Yes. 1,000 times yes! Oh, you have filled me with joy!
Oh, Flavian! Why don't we celebrate by going to the theater tonight?
Tonight?
Why not? Paris comes alive at night. You can meet me in front of the theater at 6.
No.
No.
You will escort me to the theater.
Escort you?
To and from the theater, like a proper gentleman. I have joined the Impressionists.
Why did you want to come back here?
I wanted to show you that still life I mentioned at dinner.
I presume you have gaslight or at least a lantern.
I can see perfectly fine in the moonlight. May I ask you a personal question?
If you must.
Why do you go to Robbins? Is it to consort with prostitutes?
Consort, I do not know this word.
Have intimate relations?
With prostitutes? Of course not! They're filthy creatures, what a revolting thought!
Why then?
These women are outcasts, dregs of French society. They will never rise above the cruelty of their station, even though they consort with some of the most accomplished and affluent men in all of Paris.
You are painting them. It is inspired. Is it done? Can I see it?
Eventually. Will you put on some light before I go blind?
I like the dark. Edgar,
Yes.
do you ever think about making love to your models?
No, Mary, I am not particularly attracted to people who are common, intellectually inferior.
Am I common?
No.
Do you ever get lonely?
What did you say?
Don't make me repeat it.
Do you have the still life or not?
I have it.
Then I suggest you show it to me. Who's the artist?
Pizarro.
Ah, my good friend Camille. Notice the subtle way he manipulates the light. Pizarro's doing interesting work. How old are you?
You shouldn't ask a woman her age. It isn't polite. 33.
Why aren't you married? There must have been some.
Suitors? There were. I can't be a wife. My domestic responsibilities would most certainly put an end to my career. I would love to be in love, but I cannot marry. It is a problem.
It is a dilemma.
I must say that you are a bit of a curiosity to me.
What do you mean?
You know the meaning of fairly intricate words such as aesthetics and dilemma, yet you claim not to know the meaning of simpler words such as consort or obtuse.
English is my second language.
There's something else. A good friend told me that when you were in London, you couldn't speak enough English to order tea. Everyone had to speak French to accommodate you. How do you account for this disparity?
I do not suffer fools gladly.
Of course, everyone is a fool except Degas. You are paraphrasing St. Paul from one of his letters to the Corinthians.
Yes.
I can quote the scriptures as well. Would you like to hear me do so?
Not particularly.
Come on now, it is only fair.
Very well.
When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things.
Are you familiar with the passage that follows Corinthians 13:11?
I believe so.
For now we see through a glass darkly, face to face.
And I find faith, hope, and love.
And of these three, the greatest is love.
Edgar, there might be a way for me to resolve my dilemma.
How?
If I were to marry an artist, someone who understood the life, then perhaps it would be all right.
I don't see that happening. An artist, if he is stupid enough to marry, needs a woman to cook, clean, and if she has any schooling, manage his affairs.
I know.
If you could live anywhere but Paris, where would it be? I like port cities myself, such as Naples or New Orleans. People who live by the water are more refined, they're less provincial.
Tonight we have spoken about many different topics. The writings of Victor Hugo, Shakespeare's sonnets, Handel's Messiah, all of which you hated.
You are an exceptionally cultured young woman, especially for an American.
We have not discussed the one subject that I fervently wish to discuss. You always change the subject.
What subject would that be?
Art. Why won't you talk about your art?
Because there is nothing more tedious than to listen to an artist talk about his art. Is this a chess set?
Yes, I use it as a prop.
Oh. I like the game. Chess is a true test of intellect. Do you play?
I don't play chess with men.
Why in heaven's not?
They behave badly when I win.
Do you often win at chess?
I rarely lose.
Let's not play chess.
How did it start? I have heard many different and contradictory versions of the story. It is confusing.
How did what start?
The Impressionists, the Independents. How did you all come together as a group to organize for that first exhibit? Please tell me. I understand you all met at a tavern to discuss it. Is that true?
So the legend is born.
Some say it was Monet's idea that everyone should meet and organize, and others say it was Renoir or Manet. Some even say it was actually Pissarro.
You want to know who is responsible for starting the fire and igniting this revolution?
Who was it?
Degas.
Do not tease me. It is important for me to know the truth.
I am telling you the truth.
Whenever the story is told, your name just doesn't come up.
I was there. I can tell you exactly what happened as it happened if you wish to hear it. Renoir had a plan, a little scheme he cooked up with the others. They wanted Edouard Manet to leave the salon and exhibit independently with them. They couldn't pull it off on their own. They had to have someone of Manet's stature to carry it. Edouard laughed when he told me about it. The very idea that he would leave his comfortable arrangement with the salon to throw in with the likes of Renoir, Monet, Cézanne, and the rest of those ignorant farm boys?
Yet he went to the meeting.
Absolutely. He wasn't going to pass up an opportunity to rub their noses in manure.
I see.
You're disillusioned. Perhaps I should stop here.
I want to hear the whole story. Please continue.
I wasn't invited for some reason. But my friend insisted I go along with him to the meeting. Well, I have never seen such shameless pandering. You would have thought Edouard Manet was the second coming. Manet is the greatest artist of the century, they said. And their praise of him went on and on. Of course, he ate it all up with a spoon. Then, he told them he had no interest whatsoever of joining their little group. The look on their faces. You would have thought someone had just died. Pure silence. And with that pronouncement, Manet got up and left. I walked into the door. He was actually upset when I told him I had decided to stay. He thought somehow I was being disloyal to him.
Why did you stay?
I wanted to hear more. Renoir knew immediately what it meant when I came back to the table. Well, what he was going to mean. It was perfect. I had them right where I wanted them. Then, I laid out my terms for joining the independents.
Terms?
Sound and reasonable guidelines for the exhibition. My first was that the word impressionist be removed from the banner and anywhere else it appears in print. I insisted that no artist exhibit with the salon while still independent, and that I alone must have the right to veto any artist I deem unacceptable. Naturally, any artist I invited would be accepted without question.
Good heavens. He agreed to all your demands.
Eventually. There was a lot of grousing about it. Now you know. I am responsible for starting the independence. A new movement that has dazzled all of Europe, and I did it out of my love of art.
No, you didn't. You did it to irritate Manet. And then you used your stature to force them to accept your demands.
I like the idea of having our own exhibit separate from the salon.
I thought it was a historic meeting of like-minded artists. I thought you came together to form a collective where each artist is treated with mutual respect. Now I find out it was just you trying to show up Manet and take advantage of Renoir. Well done, Edgar, well done.
Who cares why I did it? I did it! And without me, it would not have happened. Words are meaningless, Mary. It is action that changes the course of a river. I took action, I made it happen.
You made it happen. Will you permit me to withdraw my poorly chosen words about your motives? They were said in haste.
It is all right.
Would you still like to play a game? I will play chess with you.
Not chess.
I have another game in mind. 2 words, perhaps you've heard of it.
Parlor games.
I will mention the name of a famous artist, and you have to describe him or her using no more than 2 words.
Very well.
Auguste Renoir.
Wallpaper.
Claude Monet.
banality, saturated,
Edouard Manet.
overrated,
Bert Morisot.
overwrought,
Gustave Caillebotte.
over elaborate.
Mary Cassatt.
I don't want to play this game anymore.
Mary Cassatt.
Overly sentimental.
Is that how you feel about my paintings?
You know I always tell everything. I forget no one has my view of things.
Tell me your view.
You are good, Mary. Very, very good.
But,
You will never be great.
as I am a woman,
Stop saying that. Most women paint like they are trimming hats. You paint like...
a man,
You must aim high, Mary. Not in what you are going to do at some future date, but what you are going to make yourself do today. Otherwise, working is just a waste of time.
tell me what you see.
Art is not what you see, it is what you make others see.
That is not an answer.
What do you want me to say about my art, huh? Do you think I can explain the merits of a picture to those who do not see them? I can use the best and clearest words to explain my meaning, and I have spoken to the most intelligent people about my art, and they didn't understand a single word.
You wouldn't have to explain to me. I understand what you were trying to say.
I know you do.
I just wanted to hear your philosophical approach.
Oh, please. A picture is first and foremost the product of the artist's imagination. The painter, the true painter, will be the one who can review the epic side of present-day life. Who can use paint or draw lines to make us see the poetry. What are you doing? I am speaking.
I had an idea for a painting.
You mean to say that just now, as I was speaking, I must have inspired you? What is the painting of?
Spoiled child.
A spoiled child? And you got the idea while I was speaking?
Oui?
This is an outrage. I have been twice insulted. I shall leave this studio never to return. Painting requires a little mystery, some when you always make your meaning perfectly plain, you end up boring people. Mary, come to my studio tomorrow morning. The light will be better and I have the perfect child to pose for this painting. For the first time, I have found someone who feels about art as I do. Is it finished?
Most. Just a few touch-ups, some background to fill. What do you think?
Let me turn it more to the light. It's remarkable.
It is different.
I've never seen anything like it. It's a complete break with convention. Throughout history, artists have portrayed children in paintings not as they are, but as we wish to see them. You have captured the essence of childhood. Bellissimo, bravo!
Grazie, merci beaucoup. Oh, will you excuse me for a little bit? I was in the middle of writing a letter when you came, and I very much want to finish it so I can post today. It is to my good friend, Lucine Elder, a wealthy collector who lives on the Upper East Side of Manhattan.
I love New York.
Really? You have given me the impression that you don't care for America.
New York is not America. I was just helping it along. Why are you upset?
That is my painting! My work! My art! How dare you!
It is still your painting. This is an overreaction.
How would you feel if I painted on one of your paintings?
Would you paint on one of my paintings?
Never! I would never do that to you!
Then I don't see this as an issue.
This time you have gone too far, you self-important bastard!
Mary, you need to calm yourself.
Back away from it!
Stupid fat American! Avez-vous perdu votre esprit?
Oui, vous avez complètement!
You are nothing! You understand me? Nothing! The work is everything! It is sacred!
I can't do this! I can't be with you! You don't respect me!
I'm bleeding!
Good! I am sorry. Whatever possessed you to put your brush to my canvas?
I had known. I'm leaving. Do what you will with it.
Stop right there.
Mary,
You are not going anywhere. Finish it.
put down that knife. Making a slight adjustment in the perspective. That is all. I do respect you.
You have a strange way of showing it. All right.
All right.
It is better. You were right, and I was wrong. You don't have to stay. I'm quite capable of finishing it myself.
No, can't go.
Why not?
I feel I will never see you again if I go.
You have plenty of friends, you won't miss me.
They are acquaintances. You are my only friend.
You are the most popular artist in Paris. Everyone wants to be your friend.
No. They want to be friends with him, not me.
Who is him?
Edgar Degas. People see pretty paintings of ballerinas and believe I must be a gentle and caring man.
I have the same problem with Mary Cassatt. People see my paintings of children and think I must be sweet and eager to please. I am not that woman.
That is true. You are not a nice person.
Yes, thank you. You must have other friends.
Name one.
Edouard Manet.
Manet was my best friend for a time.
What happened between you and Manet?
He betrayed me.
Betrayed you how?
I did a painting of Edouard and his wife Suzanne. It was just a favor. It's a gift.
Really? Does not sound like you.
Do you want to hear this or not? The painting as a way of expressing my appreciation for Manet's friendship. We had met years ago when I was just another struggling artist copying masters at the Louvre. He took an interest in my work. We became friends, and for a time we were inseparable. Manet, who was already a celebrated artist, was a great help to Degas in getting established. We were close, like brothers, until a few months back when I went to see him at his apartment. I knew something was wrong the second I walked in the door. I felt it. Then I saw the painting I'd given him. Manet had mutilated my gift.
Mutilated how?
He slashed it. He cropped a major portion of the painting, which completely destroyed it. I never thought him possible of such cruelty.
What did you do about it?
I immediately took the painting and left without saying goodbye. Then I returned the still life he had given me. Should have sold it instead.
How did you feel when you first realized what he had done?
Small, empty, humiliated.
That is the way I feel now.
It is not the same.
It is exactly the same. You are nothing. The work is everything. The work is sacred.
You're saying that when Je suis vraiment désolé. Can you forgive me?
I don't know. Can you forgive Manet?
That is asking a lot of me. I don't want to stay on bad terms with Manet. I do want to remain friends with you. Very well. Degas forgives Manet.
Cassatt forgives Degas.
What now?
What now? Now we put on the greatest exhibition of art the world has ever seen.
Not bad. Not bad. Rubbish. Not bad. Terrible. Not bad. Good.
What are you doing?
I was just going through your little collection here. The only one I liked was that picture of the cafe singer.
That is one of yours.
Is it? I thought I recognized the work.
How did you get in here? I've been locking that door ever since that morning 2 years ago when you walked in on me.
Paris is my city. I go where I wish.
How did you get in here?
The landlord unlocked the door for me. Celebrity does have its benefits.
You would not have done that if I was a man.
Should hope not.
Why are you here?
I have the final tally for the exhibition of the independent artists of 1879.
You make it sound like a horse race.
Your share of the gate was 440 francs. You backed the right horse.
It has exceeded my expectations.
It is the most successful exhibit of the independents so far. We had over 4,000 paying visitors.
I heard Degas was selling well. Were you pleased with your individual sales?
Adequate.
My sales were adequate as well. How do the other artists fare?
Who cares? We did well. The show overall was a financial success.
Did you see the review in the newspaper? He savaged the exhibit, which is disappointing, though he did single out 2 artists for praise. One of them was you.
An art critic got it right. History has been made. Who's the other artist? Pissarro, Monet, Gauguin? There isn't a painting nor pastel by Mary Cassatt that isn't an exquisite symphony of color. Miss Cassatt is fond of pure colors and possesses the secret of blending them into a composition that is bold, mysterious, and fresh. The woman reading, seen in profile, is a miracle of simplicity and elegance. There is nothing more graciously honest and aristocratic than her portraits of young women, except perhaps her woman in a loge, with the mirror placed behind her, reflecting her shoulders and auburn hair. Well, they write this sort of mush all the time. Has no significance.
Why do you want to hurt me? Is it some sort of sport with you?
Why do you need constant approval and reassurance? Art critic. Is that a profession? When I think how stupid we painters are to solicit those people's compliments and to put ourselves into their hands, this same art critic who praised you today will happily trash you tomorrow, mark my words.
I don't see many positive reviews of my work. You could let me enjoy the moment, even if it is a fleeting one.
No, I don't think I will let you.
anyone with a sharp tongue, I could say some things.
Go right ahead. Tell me what you really thought of my paintings at the exhibit.
Your paintings of dancers at the bar, stretching backstage, participating in rehearsal.
Yes, be brutally honest.
They were magnificent. My heart leaps with joy every time I see them.
See, that wasn't so hard.
They fill me with wonder.
Oh no, here it comes.
Can you articulate your thought process? When are the choices made? Why is one picture a pastel on paper and another an oil on canvas?
Did the thought ever occur to you that I have no brain?
All right. All right. Let it go.
Mary,
Yes.
that painting that you did of your sister Lydia at the theater was my favorite of the entire exhibition.
Thank you. It sold on the first day of the show.
I know. I was the one who bought it.
Really? They didn't tell me it was you.
I asked them not to tell you because I didn't want you to get the wrong idea. I bought it for the sheer brilliance of its artistry, and I didn't want anyone else to have it. Are you cross with me?
On the contrary, I should express my gratitude to you for asking me to join the Independents. For the first time in my life, I feel
Feel what?
that I belong.
Don't get too comfortable. We need to best ourselves for the next exhibit.
I do not think I could do better.
But not better. Different. In art, different is the way to be better.
Is there something on your mind?
Actually, it was something on your mind. You once said that we should make our art accessible to the lower classes, remember?
Actually, I think what I said was that I wanted art to be available to everyone.
Same thing. We both admire the prints of that Japanese artist.
Hiroshige.
Right. What if we were to create our own set of prints? We could then publish them in a journal for everyone to see.
I like it. What should we call it?
How about Edgar Degas' journal?
No. This journal must have universal appeal. We will need stimulating articles and commentary if we want to reach beyond the Bohemians. We could invite forward-thinking writers like Émile Zola to contribute the text. Let me think for a second. It should be a title that is easy to remember, yet broad enough to encompass many divergent styles.
You are the yin to my yang.
That is Chinese, not Japanese.
I know that. Don't correct me.
I will correct you whenever I feel compelled to do so.
I wasn't suggesting it as a title.
It isn't a bad thought. Opposites that go together, that complement each other. Like Cassatt and Degas.
Degas and Cassatt.
Black and white.
Day and night.
That's it. The journal of day and night.
Le jour et la nuit. Voila! Let us talk now about the process. To print this journal, we need to execute a special type of engraving we call etching.
I know what etching is, though I've never actually done it.
I will teach you.
Really? Things were going so well.
Come to my studio Monday morning. I have everything we need. We could spend a day practicing the craft and then refining the image. I will show you the mechanics, nothing more.
Very well. In the meantime, I suggest we work up some sketches for the first issue.
Good idea. When would you like to?
Any direction?
Well, for a start, I suggest we both create something completely original. Ça va?
Ça va.
You're doing it wrong.
What?
You're doing it wrong. You're approaching the medium as if it was a painting. It is not. You must consider spatial perspective and reference converging lines.
Why?
Why? Because that is the way it's done.
Is it impossible?
No.
I see. Then perhaps it is time for a new approach.
You're setting yourself up for failure. I am going to teach you the way I was taught. This is precision work, and only a master technician can carve on a copper plate the way you paint on a canvas. The way you paint on a canvas.
You're blocking my light.
Do what you want.
I would like to apologize for my behavior just now. I have never liked for anyone to look over my shoulder. Will you demonstrate for me how it should be done?
No.
No.
No, that will not be necessary.
Why not?
Mary, sometimes I forget who you are. Do it your way. In fact, I am going to do it your way.
You are not the only artist I have known who has done etching. I am friends with Winslow Homer.
Who?
Winslow Homer. He is an American painter. He worked as an illustrator for Harper's Weekly. His woodcuts of the war between the states are very highly regarded.
The war between the what?
The war between the states. The rebellion? Surely you've heard about it.
Ah, the American Civil War. I might have heard of it. When I was in New Orleans, I often saw crippled war veterans on the street begging for coins. I saw it in New York as well. Is this Homer person an old man?
No, I wouldn't say that. Homer would have been in his 20s during the Civil War.
Then why wasn't he called up? Why didn't he wear the uniform and fight for the cause?
I am glad he did not fight. The work Winslow Homer did for Harper's was just as important. Artists don't usually fight in wars.
I did. So did Manet and Renoir. We all fought in the War of 1870.
You fought in the Franco-German War. And Renoir, my name as well. Thank goodness you all returned home safely.
Not all. I lost a close friend, Joseph Caviller. He was a gifted sculptor. Another friend, Henri Regnault, a painter, a very sweet man. He died in the war. And Frederic Bazille, an independent painter who showed so much promise, he was also killed in the war. Renoir cried when he heard the news.
That is a tragedy. The war was foolish and pointless.
Which one? My war or your war?
All wars, going back to the beginning of human civilization, are foolish and pointless. Are you not sorry now that you were a part of it?
I am proud that I did my duty. 10 years ago, I was a dedicated soldier. Today, I'm a dedicated artist. Posterity will decide the rest.
Did you paint during the war?
No, but I sketched whenever I had the time.
You had a sketch pad with you during the war.
Yes. It helped me through the bad days. Mary, why do you carry an umbrella?
You have the most annoying habit of changing the subject. Why do I carry an umbrella? The rain.
You carry an umbrella with you all the time, rain or shine.
A lady must always be prepared.
Do you think someone might take liberties?
Well, not without a fight. I'm done. Do you need more time to catch up with me?
No, I am ready.
Well, I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
This is a good start. Let's meet at my studio Thursday morning.
Very nice work. Who is this woman?
That would be you.
Really? I had no idea I looked so good from behind.
You don't. 10 o'clock on Monday.
Don't you have anything else to say to me?
Yes, I have rather. Well, I said it was a good start.
I thought you were talking about yourself.
I was. You had a good start as well.
Do you have to go?
Yes, I have a rather pressing matter that requires my attention.
Thank you.
For what?
Nothing in particular. Just thank you.
I will see you Monday.
I shall look forward to it.
We're gonna have to talk.
Dear Ed, our good friend Camille Pissarro and I have labored for months creating the etchings for the Day and Night Journal, which, let me remind you, was your idea. Since the deadline is fast approaching, we must have your contribution immediately. Where are you? When we began this project, I expected to see more of you, not less. My sister Lydia has asked about you repeatedly. I must confess I was reluctant to introduce her to you. I now concede that you have been the perfect gentleman, appreciating both her sensitive demeanor and frail physical condition. I have some new ideas for the journal that I would very much like to share with you. I wish you were here. Careful what you wish for.
Bonjour, Mary. How have you been?
I am well. Where have you been?
In the country at Renoir's farm. You think I might have a cup of tea?
Certainly. Would you like a biscuit?
I would.
You hate the country.
I hate painting in the country. Open air painting, the very idea. No one should ever be allowed to paint outdoors. That is the purpose of an art studio. In the studio, you have a controlled environment. You know, the government should send soldiers out to arrest every artist who's ever painted outdoors, line them up against a wall, and shoot them.
I think that's a little harsh.
Well, I don't want to kill anyone. Perhaps the soldiers could wing them a little bit.
How is Renoir?
Fine. He and Claude Monet were outside most of the time painting landscapes. What a pointless exercise, especially for Monet. Water lilies. Who is going to buy his dreary pictures?
Why do you say that about Monet?
Because he's painting landscapes. Who needs a landscape painting? That is why we have windows. If you want to see landscape, you simply look out the window.
What if you don't have a window?
Don't be obtuse. Actually, something did happen to me at Renoir's farm that I believe you will find of interest. One day I went for a walk into the woods. And tired from my journey, I decided to sit down against a tree to take a nap. Do you know what I saw when I awoke? A deer, not more than a few feet in front of me. She was completely unaware of my presence. Do you know what she was doing? She was cleaning herself. A private moment I'll wager few humans have ever witnessed. It was remarkable.
How enchanting. I wish I was there with you. Will you paint it?
Paint it? Of course not. Nature bores me.
What was the point of your story?
You asked me about my philosophical approach. Well, there it is. I don't want to just paint something new or something no one has seen before. That's not enough. I want to paint the unseen, the things we never see.
Your story does have a point. I am embarrassed to admit this, but I used to confuse Claude Monet with Edouard Manet because their surnames are so similar.
Oh, everyone does, apparently. Manet was established first, of course, long before everyone heard of Monet. Did you know that some of Monet's earliest sales were because the patrons actually thought they were buying a Manet? Whenever I'm feeling low, I think about that and it lifts my spirits.
Manet must hate Monet.
At first. But then later on they met and became friends and it spoiled all the fun.
Oh, I almost forgot. Lydia has been asking about you. Will you stop by the apartment to say hello?
I just saw Lydia at the market just now. I need to speak with you about Lydia.
That will not be necessary.
Oh, why do you say that?
Lydia is my older sister. Whatever you have to say is none of my concern.
Actually, this does concern you. Lydia's health is in decline. I'm afraid she is not long for this world.
You are unbelievable! How dare you talk to me about my sister?
I'm trying to help.
By telling me that Lydia will soon be dead, how does that cover me?
So you can prepare.
Prepare!
For the funeral. You need to plan a service. You need to pick out a coffin.
Stop it! Lydia has always been frail. She was a sickly child. You don't know anything about her.
I know about this. I've seen it before many times.
Do you have a medical degree? Do you have any medical training whatsoever? No, of course not.
You were the one who brought up Lydia.
Because I wanted you to stop by the apartment to say hello, not take her coffin shopping.
I should have known you were going to take this the wrong way. There's another matter I need to discuss with you.
Please, no more.
I'd like you to model for me.
Oh. Is that all? When?
Thursday morning, we can do it here.
Thursday. Yes, I should be over this by then. What is it?
The portrait of Mary Cassatt.
You want my portrait?
If you'll allow me.
I'd be honored.
I shall see you Thursday. Au revoir.
Au revoir. I need to speak with you about the journal project! I suppose it can wait till Thursday.
Hold still. You're the worst model.
Sistine Chapel didn't take this long. When will it be finished?
When it is done. Can you lean forward a little bit? More. More. Too much.
Did you realize that this is the first time you have touched me?
I'm sorry. It was necessary.
Don't mind.
Hold that pose.
I had lunch with Bertrand Isot the other day. We talked about you quite a bit.
Did you?
Oh, yes. She told me your mother was American.
Creole from New Orleans.
So you are half American.
I'm not half anything. I was born in Paris. Mary, I would not spend so much time with Bertha if I were you.
Why not?
For the simple fact that she is a female artist.
She and I are friends, not rivals. How typical of a man to think like that. Besides, I wouldn't want to be compared to Bertrand Isot's talent and ability.
Why not? You are the better artist.
Do you really think so? How? I mean, in what way am I a better artist?
You are completely dedicated to the craft. Berta married Manet's brother Eugène and forever ended the promise she once had as a painter. There is art, and there is work. We have only one heart. She was a fool to marry.
I would not judge her so harshly.
I will never compromise my freedom. Besides, I'm too afraid that if I had finished the picture, I'd hear my wife say, "What you have done there is very pretty indeed."
Do you think future generations will look at our work the way we look at Rembrandt and Raphael?
I do not care about the thoughts and opinions of future generations.
No.
I am great in my own time.
What did you say?
I am great in my own time.
I thought you said you were great in your own mind. I must confess that I would love to see my work in a museum.
You know that will never happen.
Why? Is it because we are independents?
My work will be in a museum, most certainly.
What about my work?
It is better for you to face reality today than suffer disappointment in the future.
Such wisdom. I must write it down.
The guy will be in the museum, Cassatt will not.
If you refer to yourself in the third person one more time, I will take my umbrella and bash you over the head with it.
Well, it's not completely finished, but if you would like to look at it.
What is this?
What, do you not like it?
My expression is forlorn.
Pensive, not forlorn.
What is in my hands?
Tarot cards. They add an air of mystery to your persona.
It is not. It makes me look silly and uneducated.
It is a dignified portrait.
It is repugnant. You have turned me into a superstitious spinster. I cannot abide this disrespectful treatment.
This is an overreaction.
You can find beauty in dancers.
Oui. Yes.
You can find beauty in musicians.
Yes.
You can find beauty in merchants,
Yes.
laundresses,
Yes.
horsemen,
Yes.
acrobats, and prostitutes.
Yes and yes.
Why can't you find beauty in me?
Mary, this is how I see you.
Get out.
You disappoint me.
Leave now. Take your painting with you.
The painting is yours.
I don't want it.
It is a gift. You have to accept it.
I don't have to do anything. I don't want it.
It is a Degas! Do you know what people are paying for these things? You have to accept it.
Very well.
There's an important matter we need to discuss.
I would like you to leave now.
It concerns the journal project. I'm afraid it will have to be postponed indefinitely.
Are you aware of the number of hours I have put into this project? That for the first time in my adult life, I have neglected my own painting. Why do you want to postpone?
I'm not ready.
Not good enough. Do you have no commission? I know you've been sculpting.
I don't need to explain myself to you.
What about to Camille?
Who?
Camille Pissarro? His labor on this project has been intense, don't you care?
About Pizarro? No! I never cared for that damn Jew!
How can you say that about your friend?
I was never friends with him or any of them! They're jealous of us, you know!
I want you to leave and never return.
You don't mean it. You need me!
I am independent. I live alone and I love to work. I don't need anyone.
Very well. Since this may be the last time we speak, I have something I really need to say to you.
This will be rich.
You are not my equal. No one is. However, I must admit that when I look at your paintings, such as the little girl in the blue armchair or Lydia at the theater, I am humbled. You can capture a tenderness and warmth in your pictures that I cannot. I just don't have it in me. In that respect, I am not your equal.
Thank you for telling me. Although the journal project was never completed, I would remain friends with Edgar Degas for the rest of his life. Sometimes it made him furious that he could not find a chink in my armor, and there were months where I just could not bear seeing him. Then something I painted or something he sculpted would bring us together again. Degas went blind, and in the end, he was a lonely, bitter, and spiteful old man. I arranged for his niece to care for him during those terrible last months. And she was there when he died. In 1915, my good friend Lucine Havemeyer produced an exhibit of Degas and Cassatt paintings to benefit the suffragettes. I was surprised at the coolness I felt at exhibiting with just Degas alone. He hated the very idea of feminism, so you can only imagine how he would have reacted to us using his paintings to benefit our cause. The show was a success, and a new generation discovered his work, which is just. You see, however dreadful he might have been, and he could be most difficult, Degas always lived up to his ideals as an artist. He's long gone now, but the bold and beautiful art he created has endured. You can see many of his paintings today at the prestigious Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City. You will find them next to the paintings of Mary Cassatt, which are always on prominent display at the museum.